Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Thursday, September 29th, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Hey, Brina, what's up? You're number one today, and I am late today. Later. Hey, Shelby, number two. Glad to see you guys here. And anyone listening over on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, welcome and thank you. Had a busy morning, so I do apologize for showing up late. Hey, Minnesota, and hello, lover boy. Welcome. And I'm going to try to have a fun show today. So hopefully we won't make this serious. This is supposed to be a fun show. And if you guys have anything fun you guys want to talk about on a Thursday, just let me know. Brina says, hilarious topic. Well, hey. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. Okay, so my topic for today is, you have a boogie. When do you say something or keep quiet? And for any of you guys who were on my show, this probably would have been about 6 months ago. It was a funny show. I enjoyed it so much. Where we were talking about, I think the title was something like "Baby, you look good in those jeans" or something. So this is kind of along the same line. When do you say something, and when do you keep quiet? I mean, if someone had something in their nose, hello, the only crazy lady. If someone had something in their nose, would you say something? I mean, does it depend upon who the person is? Does it depend upon, hey, Mama Bear? Does it depend upon their relationship to you, where you're going, if you're at work, if you're at church, if you're at a party, if you're, about to go into a job interview, and let's say you guys are all sitting there. I'll take the. In fact, I'm gonna use this question first. Everyone is sitting, in a room. About to go in for a job interview. Hey, Ninja Bunny, welcome. And the person who is next to you, they have a boogie in their nose. Do you say something, or do you don't know them from Adam? Do you just let them get up and go into the interview and not say anything? And I'm not talking, I don't want to get graphic, but basically it is noticeable. So do you guys say something? Let me see. Shelby says, I hope if I call in, you won't make me embarrassed. Oh, Shelby, of course not, honey. Honey, boo-boo. No, of course not. Oh. And I am having a good day, lover boy. I hope everyone is too. So, yeah, most likely. Yes, I would say something off to the side in private if possible. Okay, what if private is not possible? What would you say? Shelby says, I would say something. I feel groggy. Oh, let's see. Ninja says, I would say something because I want to know if the tables return. Yes, I would too. But would you feel uncomfortable saying something? And Mama Bear says, great talk while eating supper. Okay, Mama Bear. So you just had me come up with another question. Rita says, I would say you have a visitor and scratch my nose. Yes, I used the visitor thing too. Okay, all right. Excuse me. So, Crazy Lady, are you saying no, you would not say anything? And Brina's just laughing. Brina, you're always laughing. So, okay. So, Mama Bear, see, now you brought up the dinner table. You brought up the dinner table, so I got to bring up the dinner table too. Someone comes over to your house for dinner. or you guys are eating out, wherever you're at Mickey D's, or you're at the five star, wherever you are, you're about to eat. Someone has that very noticeable visitor. What do you say? Do you pull them off to the side? You know, yes, say something. Oh, and little boy says, "Damn, I'm starving. Everything is closed. Everything is closed this early." So, seriously though, when do you say something? And we can get off the whole boogie thing because Mama Bear, you're eating, you know. But when do you say something, and when do you not? What would be a situation that could be embarrassing for someone, but you don't say anything? You just let it slide. And then again, does it come back to what Ninja says, where she says, "I would want to know if the tables are turned." But Ninja, are there some things that you wish someone would not say to you? Is it different if a man said it to you as opposed to to a woman, and vice versa for men? Does it make a difference if a man says it to you as opposed to a woman? So is there and Crazy Lady says, here is a tissue, you have a, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, ladies, I'm going to ask you this because, things happen. Let's see, Ninja says, no, I'd like to know, doesn't matter if a man or woman, coming from a woman means more though. Okay, Ninja, so this is my next question, and I don't mean to embarrass anyone. Men, you guys, I'm asking you guys too. Women, or ladies, it's that time of month. And accidents do happen. Would you want to hear it would it make a difference if it was from a man or a woman if you were in public? Would it make a difference? If it were your coworker and that coworker was a man and you're at work, would it make a difference? Brittany says, yes, definitely doesn't matter who it comes from. Okay. All right. All right. I would be more embarrassed if Ian told me, is that your husband, Mama Bear? I would rather not hear that from a woman. Okay, I'm sorry. Shelby says, I would rather hear that from a woman. Okay, a man. Okay. Oh, if a man told me. Okay. But would you, yes, you're embarrassed, but would you be grateful that they said that? And would you be grateful? Hey, Mr. A, welcome. Would you be grateful that they said that and you just go and took care of business? And would you be embarrassed the next time you saw that man again? So, and men, would you say something? Would you say something if a woman, had that issue? Would you say something? Let's see. McDonald's frozen Coke is broken. I want to know, yes, I would be grateful. Excuse me. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I'd be grateful, not embarrassed. Okay. I cannot face the man again. Okay, so Shelby, if it's your coworker, or okay, let's say it was a male friend, don't you think that more than likely they just would have said something and they would have forgotten about it and gone on about their business? Lover boy, you would not say anything. That's interesting. Mama Bear said, but they wouldn't. They would laugh with the. But you know what? Mama Bear, you are right. You are right. Do you think in terms of age though? Like, I know if you're a high school boy would probably laugh, whatever, probably college, whatever. Do you think that a man would laugh no matter what the age? Like, would a 16-year-old man laugh with their buddy as opposed to a 30-year-old man? Okay, Shelby says does not matter. Okay, no. Okay, all right. So Shelby, so would you rather just walk around with that accident as opposed to not being told? And I apologize if you guys hear any noise. My windows are open. Um, no, I hope not. Okay. Hey, GP, welcome. Um, how would you know what? You know what, lover boy? There are many times that a woman doesn't know. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you. There, so I can guarantee you. So I'm pretty sure there's been a time or two when some of us have been tapped on the shoulder by some female, but I've had it happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm so have I. I mean, so I mean, it has. Hey, shy lady, welcome. So, okay, so little boy, let me ask you this. So you say that you probably wouldn't say anything. Would you want, even if it were a man? Shy lady, we're talking about a woman having accidents at that time of month. Um, so, lover boy, would you want, if it were your wife or your sister or your daughter, and if she had an accident and she was not aware of it, and the only person around who saw it was another man, you wouldn't want him to say something to her? I mean, yeah, you're embarrassed. I know. I think she would be more embarrassed than you would, but I would like to know because to walk around like that. So let's see. Okay, so um, again, so when do you say something and when do you not? Okay, Little Boy says, I just thought a woman would known. Okay, are you saying when she has it or she has an accident, Lover Boy? Because as you can see, people in the chat, women in the chat have said, some people have said that it's happened to them. So, it's not, so again, when do you not say something? And do you not say something out of embarrassment for you, out of embarrassment for the other person? Do you not say something because you don't think it's any of your business? Do you not say something? And I'm talking about whatever the situation is. I mean, when do you when do you uh, uh, not not say something? Does it matter if you like the person or not? I mean, you, I mean, when do you not say something? Let's see here. Okay, everyone's liking the show. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it as always. Okay, so let me ask this. Do you okay? Shelby says, when was the near restroom? Where was the near restroom? Okay. Oh, that's right. You're in Florida, lover boy. That's right. You are in Florida. I hope you guys do get power because that sucks. Okay, woman. Would you tell your wife or girlfriend? Okay, so lover. I'm assuming, Mama Bear, you're directing that to lover boy. Would you tell your wife or girlfriend? I mean, I would. Okay, so so then, Lover Boy, I'm going to ask you: would you want someone to tell your wife or girlfriend if you were not around, or another friend or woman was around, but another male noticed it? Would you want someone else to bring that to their attention? Oliver says, good answer. Even in public. Let's see. I am just one of those people where I would tell whomever, even if it, hey, D, even if it were a stranger, I would let them know. Um, if someone, if I had an accident of any kind, I would want someone to tell me, because to me the embarrassing part is walking around like that for an extended period of time, and you're unaware. Then people are going to start talking about you. So let me ask this. Hey, Frankie. So let me. Okay, and Shelby says right. Okay, so men, are there any? Is there anything that you would be embarrassed about that a woman would tell you? Because I'm trying to think of a couple of things that I can't really think of anything that a man would be embarrassed about. Um, you know, that would be specific to. Well, yeah, well, actually, I could. Actually, I could. But I mean, again, does it, when you're out in public, does it really make a difference? Does it really make a difference who tells you? Does it really make a difference as long as something is brought to to their attention? Okay, pants unzip, maybe for a man. Okay, okay. A room full of people and their fly is open with undies sticking out. Okay, and Brina says, no, it wouldn't matter to me. I would appreciate it. Brina, so would I. Those, I mean, to me, those embarrassing moments, those are the things that when you go to that class reunion, if you're walking around like that consistently, someone says, hey, remember back in eighth grade when so and so did so and so. Hey, Jester, welcome. And I hope you are feeling better. I hope you are feeling better today. So, but you know what, Shy Lady, for men to have their pants on, their, fly unzipped, women, there have been some times when women have done the same, the same thing. Let's see. Brina says, I do embarrassing things all the time. I would just laugh it off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me ask this. I'm getting into the young love um, uh, category. Do you think it would have been different um, if you were caught? You're in high school, maybe college, or your 20s or whatever. You're young. Would it have made a difference if you were caught by your mom instead of your dad at your house? Meaning, would it have been a difference if you're caught at your house as opposed to your boyfriend's house or your girlfriend's house? Do you think that there's a difference in terms of how embarrassed you would be? And does anyone have, and as a parent, anyone here who is a parent, depending upon the age of your child, would you not say anything? Like, at what age would you not say anything? Or if they're at your house, you're going to say something anyway? Okay, Shelby wants to come up. Welcome. Mama Bear's laughing. What?
What?
Wait. Okay. Hold on. Let me explain this to Brina. Okay. What did we get caught doing? I'm talking about sex. All right. So Shelby is up here.
Okay. We all know I have two daughters.
Hmm.
One is outspoken, the other one is very timid. Okay. My one that is outspoken, I have always had the rule, um, I can't stop you because I did it myself. I was never caught, but I did it myself. So, my outspoken child knew all about that, before I even knew it was going on. But I have always told my children that I would much rather you be at home than be caught out somewhere. And so she's always, she's made sure we weren't here, but she's always at home. Now, my timid daughter, on the other hand, which we always thought would be the exact opposite, got caught in a parking lot. And
By a police officer or just by some?
yes,
Okay.
no, by a police officer. And I know it's not funny, but it is funny because this was when they were, I think she was 16, maybe 15 or 16. And she was so embarrassed. And when they brought her home and told us, and I just looked at her, I was just like, why? you
So
know
did so when the police officer told, what, were both you and your husband there, or just you?
yes, both of us were home. Well, luckily he was at home also. That he worked days that day, so he was at home also. And she, I guess the look on her face was that she was surprised that he was at home. She expected it just to be me. So she was more embarrassed.
Okay, Shelby, you cut out there, so I'm assuming you're getting a call. You cut out that last part.
She was more upset about her daddy finding out than me because I'm very, I wouldn't say laid back, but I'm not as, like I said, I wasn't as strict on that because I had done it myself.
Now you do bring up an interesting point, because I if that happened to me, I would rather be caught by, or if the policeman, brought me home or whatever, I would rather it be my mother as opposed to my father. And if I ever got caught, and I never did, um, um, uh, be my mother as opposed to my father, because for me, I never wanted to disappoint my father. Um, and I also think that for girls, it's better to be caught at home than at your boyfriend's house, because then I think that the parents of the boy may look at the girl as if she's, kind of easy or whatever. So do you guys agree with that? You disagree with that, or?
I agree with that, and I've always told my girls, you're more than welcome here, you know, because I know, especially I know with the boyfriend that my outspoken daughter has, they are very, oh my gosh, what would they think? You know, um, I'm more lenient to her to do that over here because of that fact. Um, Now the tables have turned now for my other daughter. She's, I have more respect for you than to do that in your house.
Right,
So she
right.
moved out completely. She doesn't live here at all. Now, my outspoken daughter comes and stays 2 nights a week, but most of the time she lives with her friend, or she goes and stays with her boyfriend at his apartment, but she's very adamant that, you know, she's abided by our rules, you know, but not to say that I don't really like it that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But she's 19. I can't stop her either way.
Right, right. So, okay, so let me ask this. Do you think that it would matter if a if your son was caught at the girlfriend's house as opposed to being at home? Do you think there's a difference there?
Yes, there's a big difference there. My
Okay,
son was caught at his girlfriend's house.
okay, and did so the girl's parents freaked out, or
They freaked out and charged him with statutory rape.
okay, that is where okay, that was my next question. Okay, okay, so if you caught your son, or let's say son or daughter at your house, do you think, here we go back to Monday's show with the whole duty thing, do you think that it's your responsibility, especially if they are under the age of 18, to tell the other person's parents, or would you just not say anything, especially if you had a son, and like you said with the statutory rape thing?
Well, I that's real hard to say. I mean, my daughter has always been responsible. She makes sure that, you know, she's very religious on getting her shot. She makes sure that he has a raincoat. They, you know, like I said, they're very responsible. Now, if it had come to pass that they weren't responsible and they were irresponsible, then, and I knew about that they were irresponsible at the time, then yes, I would have a duty to say, we need to talk to the parents and tell them, you know, we need to get y'all responsible.
But okay, but so you're saying you're looking at it, Crucible, welcome. You're looking at it on a responsibility thing. I'm just saying whether they're responsible or not, because they're under the age of 18, would you would you say something to the other person's parents?
See, that's where I would have to say no because I did it and nobody told, you know, nobody told their parents, my parents or his parents.
Okay.
So I can't say I can't do that to my child because, well, nobody done it for me. Now, if it was a situation of rape, then that would be a different story.
Okay. 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 So, guys, what do you think about what Shelby said? I mean, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to add anything, or because again, you know, and not just with we talked about the boogie, we talked about the women having their accidents, whatever. But when do you say something? And I mean, when is it okay to say something? I mean, when do you think that if someone was in an embarrassing moment, that you should say something, as opposed to keeping quiet? And again, doesn't matter if it's someone's parents or if it's your grandmother, or if it's the lady down the street or the guy across the hall, or whatever. I mean, when does it or does it not make a difference who the person is, or what the situation is? And again, it comes back to, like Ninja was saying, would you want to know? Because if anything, if I'm in an embarrassing moment and I'm walking down the street looking crazy, I want somebody to tell me. I mean,
Now,
please.
if I had the monthly thing, I would want I would want somebody to tell me, but I would much rather it be a woman to tell me than a man.
But again, okay, but again, I say if you're in that situation, um, But if you're in that situation and a woman's not around and your coworker or someone at church or whomever, sees it, wouldn't you want them to tell you as opposed to you walking around like that? I mean, as someone.
Yeah, I would want to know. I would want to know, yes. But in my instance, if I had my choice, if there was a woman and a man around talking and they saw it, both of them saw it, I would much rather the woman come and tell me instead of the man come and tell me.
Well, in a situation like that, I think if you had a man and woman who were standing around and they both noticed it, I'm pretty sure the woman would be the one who would come over to tell you as opposed to a man. So yeah, but I still say for men who would not say anything, that's when I say, wouldn't you want someone to say something to your wife, daughter, sister, whatever? Would you want them walking around like that? Because accidents do happen, and when it comes to stuff like that, you don't always know. So, and Ninja says, I would want to know regardless. So, I mean, let me ask this: do you think that women go through more embarrassing things than men?
Yes.
Do you think it's more physical as opposed to just tripping over your foot, falling down the stairs, whatever, your dress blow? I mean, do you think that women have more physical things that would embarrass them more?
I think so, yes.
Okay, I'm going to get personal again, and I don't mean to get personal, so I don't mean to gross anyone out. And Shelby, I'm not getting personal with you per se, but I'm taking the conversation where some people may say, well, dang, Sally, you have to bring that up. When women have babies, and if they're breastfeeding, at times they have accidents and they don't always know. Would you feel uncomfortable if a man said something to you because they were the only ones that noticed it? Or I mean, yes, you would prefer a woman to say it, but okay, I have two questions. As a man, would you say something to another woman that you do not know? And as a woman, would you want a man to say something to you, for someone that you did not know, and they were the only ones around that noticed it?
Are you talking about the upper half of your body?
Yes, I'm saying you're breastfeeding, okay, and you're leaking. I mean,
yeah, okay. It would be embarrassing, yes, but I would want anybody to tell me then, because I mean that is something that, well, yes, I wouldn't want somebody to tell me.
Okay, now Brina says yes, wardrobe malfunctions are real. I've leaked a bunch of times when I was breastfeeding. It wouldn't matter to me. So, but do you think that again, men would be hesitant to say something because it's a woman, number one, and I don't know her, number two? So Dee says,
I think men would hold off on telling a woman that they don't know, because you don't know if that woman's going to consider that as sexual harassment. Or
well, yeah, but if she looks down and she sees that she is, then I mean, it's come on, I'm trying to help you out here. So I mean, no, but I totally get it. You will have that one that will take it in totally different direction. So Dee says, yes, tactfully let the other person know, regardless of who it is. And Brandon says, yes, I think men would be hesitant. So Crucible is up here. Welcome. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Hello, everybody. That's an interesting societal dilemma, and it doesn't just pertain to men and women. I think the person who points out the situation or offers the criticism or the critique or whatever it happens to be, a man to a woman or a woman to a man, or a non-sports fan to a sports fan, a non-scientist to a scientist. I think the source of the critique, let me step back. The credibility of the source, or the credibility of the critique, is attached to the source. In other words, if I come up to a woman and say, your dress is tucked in over here in the wrong way or something like that, first of all, she would be embarrassed. Second of all, who are you to tell me? What do you know about anything with women's wardrobe and whatnot? And the same thing if it were reversed. A woman offering something to a man, their first reaction, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, is going to be, can I trust this person? They can't possibly know what it's like to be a man, or what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to be a baseball player, what it's like to be a scientist. So we have a tendency to discount feedback from people that we don't think know what they're talking about. And it could be simply as, you're not the same gender as me, or we don't have that in common, so what could you possibly know? But to answer your question, I would steer clear of it when it comes to anything with feedback or critique to a woman. I just wouldn't go there. I think women are more comfortable with it because let's just say they're married to a guy whose fashion sense maybe is not great, or he's got other shortcomings, and women tend to want to correct those things, and men tend to be eventually a little bit more open-minded to accepting those things. And I don't know if a woman would be as open-minded to accepting criticism from a man. That's an anecdotal comment. I have no evidence to support it, but I think we tend to view the critique depending on where it's coming from.
Okay. You went someplace. You went, okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand totally what you're saying, but literally, I'm literally just asking the question: would you tell a woman that she was leaking if she was breastfeeding? That was the question. So, Crucible, would you?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's interesting. So, would you want another man if it were your sister or your niece or something like that, if it were them and the man was the only one that noticed it, would you want them to say it, or would you just they're walking around like that until they notice it themselves or another woman points it out? Crucible.
It might depend on the situation. If there were a lot of people around, it just depends on the setting. I tend to not get involved in other people's business, even when it might be an embarrassing situation. So it would be kind of a case-by-case thing, again, depending on where we were. But I would tend, and I guess maybe how bad the situation was. If it was a minor thing where it wasn't really noticeable, I would certainly mind my own business. But if it were something really obvious and it was going to be embarrassing for her, it would have to be a decision based on the situation. But I would tend to say no.
Okay, all right, Shelby, you want to comment? I'm asking you to comment only because you're up on the panel. You want to comment on what Crucible just said?
I'm trying to get there. I think Dee made a comment on here, and it said that I think a guy may try to find a woman to break the embarrassing news to. Okay. I agree with that. I think that's what a man would probably try to do.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So Brina says to Crucible, dang, you're just going to leave me out there looking crazy. And then Dee says, Crucible, if you work in an office full of women, are you not going to tell your coworker? And let's see, Mama Bear says phone call. No problem. And Crucible says to DMAC, no. Okay. All right. It's interesting. Because again, this was just a simple, yes or no question. I'm not trying to get into the societal things, but these are things, that have happened to people. It's happened to me, whatever. I've seen other women that has happened to. I have gone over to them. I have said something. I have said something to a man who had a leak in his pants, and I'm not talking about because he went to the bathroom, whatever. And and he was embarrassed, but he was like, oh my God, thank you, whatever. Um, I think depending upon for situations like that, people do want to know, and they are thankful that you are telling them. So, Crucible, let me ask this: a woman or man tore their pants. They did not know their pants were torn, or they have a hole in their pants. Their underwear is showing, and it's obvious. Would you say something?
Man or woman?
Man or a woman? Would you say something?
I would say something to a man. I probably would not say something to a woman.
So you would allow this woman to walk around, and she honestly, innocently does not know that her pants are torn, and she can walk around like that, say, and you even see her. You continue to see her walking around, and she just doesn't know. And people may be laughing or pointing, whatever. Nobody says anything. You're still not going to say anything.
Somebody will say something at some point, but I believe in, we're all adults here. We've got, our responsibilities to take care of ourselves. And again, it depends on how bad it was or whatnot, but I would say something to a man, but probably not a woman. That's a little dicey for me.
Okay, so let me back up here, because you said we all have the responsibility to take care of ourselves. Are you saying that you should know if you have your pants are torn? I mean, because there are times where you can sit down on something and snag your pants on a chair or whatever, and you honestly don't know that your pants are ripped or your shirt is ripped or whatever.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just, it depends. If I knew them, somebody made a comment. I think it was D Mac in the chat. Would I say something to a coworker? Coworkers, that would be a little bit of a different situation. A friend would be a little bit of a different situation. A complete stranger, I think that's kind of where I'm drifting towards. I wouldn't say something to a complete stranger. I probably would say something to a coworker or a friend.
So if your pants were torn and you didn't know, and you're walking around, would you want someone to say something to you? Male or female, stranger, friend, would you want someone to say something to you?
Probably.
Okay. All right.
Again, I think when we're talking about strangers, I just think these days, especially 25, 30, 50 years ago, different world. I don't know what you're going to get back when you approach people.
I totally get what you're saying. I mean, people today are crazier than they were, 20 years ago. Yeah. But at the same time, I think there's still that appreciation where people will say, oh, hey, thanks. All right. So let me ask this. So, Crucible, you're driving down the street and you're behind someone, and you see that their brake lights out, and there's room on the side. You can pull up to them and you roll. Would you roll your window down and say, hey, your brake light is out, or would you let them just continue to drive with not knowing, because they truly may not know that their brake light is out? Would you say something?
Again, no.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. And I think there's a fine line between wanting to be helpful and intruding on somebody's. Yeah. Now you could probably ask the question: would I want somebody to tell me my brake light was out? Probably. I guess. But again, you're getting into people's territory, and I just don't know where the lines are drawn as far as how much we should offer and how much we should just mind our own business.
Okay. Now D says to Crucible, okay, you qualify it a little bit with the stranger versus coworker. I will tell you guys, I am one of those people where if I see your brake light is out, I do it all the time. If I can pull up alongside you and tap on my horn, and I'm like, hey, did you know your brake light is out? A lot of times people are saying, thank you very much. Some people will say, yeah, I know, thank you, but there's always was a thank you behind it. They appreciate it. I had someone who followed me on the freeway for about a mile, and they were honking, and I'm like, are they honking at me? So then I see them looking like, pull over. I got off the ramp. I make sure that I was in a, it was during the day, pulled off, whatever, pulled off and down, went into a gas station or something. And they're like, yeah, you've been driving this whole time. Did you know that both of your brake lights were out? I had no clue, none. And usually, when you turn on your turn signal, it's supposed to blink really, really fast. And that's how you knew that wasn't happening. When I turned my turn signal on, it was still the click, 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 so that freaked me out. And the fact that and it was a man, and the fact that he did that, because I could have caused a major accident. I could have caused a major accident. So yeah. For me personally, I let people know. So D says, tell the person that their brake light is out, especially if you would be voted for it. I don't understand the voted for it part, D. Hey, Pook. If you would be cited for it. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, especially if you would be cited for it. So, Shelby, I'm coming back to you. What do you say in terms of what Crucible said with the whole brake light thing? Would you let someone know, or does it matter? Does it, and yes, I am aware that someone could think that you're wanting to pull out a gun or something, or they can pull out a gun on you. I totally understand that. But I do believe that most people would appreciate you telling them. So go ahead, Shelby. Sorry.
Well, what we did, in years past, if there was someone like that, or especially like if your gas thing is open or whatever, we would write a note and put it against the window and honk our horn,
Okay.
to them. And I've had that done to me about a flat tire. So, that's what we would do. That way, if it's a hostile person, you're not taking the risk of them offing you or whatever. You've got that note against the window. So,
Okay. All right. So would you guys and Crucible, I'm gonna come back to you on this one, because Shelby just said something about leaving a note. If you notice, like in the parking lot, that someone had a flat tire or something like that, and you had pencil and paper in your car, would you leave a note on the windshield, or would you just let them, if they didn't notice it, whatever? I mean, if it was something where they may notice it, not necessarily a flat tire, but something where they need to, it needs to have their attention brought to them, and you had pencil and paper, would you leave a note?
Yeah. Again, I don't think so. No, and it's not really not the way I think. And you can draw whatever conclusions you want from that, and say I'm not a very good citizen, and that's certainly fine. But for a little context, I live in a very big city. I have for my whole life. And between riding the subway, moving around in public, in crowds, there's people everywhere. Everybody is in their own world. Everybody is impersonal. Nobody makes eye contact. Everybody is the unspoken vibe is leave me alone. I'm over here, you're over there. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. We have separate existences. And so that conditioning creeps into your mindset, and you start to ignore people. You start to ignore situations. I'm not making excuses for my behavior. Am I proud of it? I don't know if it's a question of being proud or not, but in the environment that I live in, I shouldn't say nobody. Many people don't think that way because they're too protective, they're too afraid, they're very insular. And whether that's the same thing in a small town or not, I don't know. But people who live in large cities are conditioned to keep to themselves because the outcomes are not always good when you don't.
Okay, but first of all, I'm not talking about you having to make eye contact with someone. I'm talking about all you're doing is leaving a note on your car saying, "Hey, just wanted to let you know your left tire is flat." You get in your car, you go about your own business.
Right, and I was giving you context. The reason I
Right.
would say no is because of the mindset that develops in large cities because of the impersonal nature of people. That's why I
So
wouldn't
would
leave a
you?
note.
Okay. Would you want someone to leave a note for you?
Not particularly, no. If they
Okay.
wanted to, that would be
Okay.
great. But that's not. So
Okay.
there's a level of reciprocity there. I don't expect those things from other people. It would be one thing if I expected them from other people and I was not willing to do them for them. But I don't expect it from other people. So it's kind of that live and let live thing for me.
Okay. All right. I mean, I was asking, and you gave me the answer. So, hey, Prep Money, welcome back. It has been a minute. So what do you guys say in terms of what Crucible just said? Shelby, I'm gonna put you on the spot because you're up here, but everybody else in the chat, what are your thoughts?
Crucible, man. you- I understand you live in a big city. It's probably dangerous, but she's just asking if you would leave it if no one was there. I think I would. If nobody was there, I would leave. I would definitely leave the note.
So, but and I guess and I mean, I asked the question, you gave me an answer. You don't have to qualify it, but again, it was just just a simple gesture. Um, I don't know if I think, well, I probably do think that you're overthinking it a bit, but it's just a note. So, Crucible, I'm gonna come back to you, and so are you saying, so for the most part, for everything, if you saw somebody doing whatever, no matter what it was, um, you would not say anything for the most
It's
part?
completely it's completely situational, but for the most part, no.
Okay, so you saw
But I think
someone.
but people want to skip over the other part. They want to zero in on the parts that they want to latch onto. But I've made it very clear. I don't expect it from other people
No,
or
no, I
either.
mean, no, and I understand that. I understand that people's expectations are different. You may not, excuse me, you may not expect other people to do it for you. So, you answered the question. Okay, all right. Excuse me, guys. All right. So, Brina says, Crucible, I get your reasoning. Cal says, Shelby, say teddy bear. I don't know what's going on there. So Shelby wants to say teddy bear. D says, Crucible, what if you are getting on the L train and the seat is wet that someone is about to sit in? Would you stop them from sitting in it? Interesting question. Crucible,
Yeah, I
would
just
you?
typed it in the chat. Yeah, I would. I would say so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So, um, this has been an interesting interesting conversation. So once so Shelby, I'm going to ask you, because you and Crucible are the only ones that are up here. Is it a situational thing? Does it matter what it is, where you would say something and you would not? Does it matter? And again, if you were the only one that saw it, does it matter the situation, or you would say something just so the person would not walk around looking crazy, or tear their pants or whatever?
In certain instances, it would matter the situation to me.
Okay. Okay. So for you, though, as a whole, would you, for the most part, want people to tell you if you're walking around with something that needs to be taken care of?
Yes, I would want to be told.
Okay. All right. All right. So do you think that again, I'm gonna divide this between men and women. Do you think that women, no matter the situation, and I'm saying no matter the situation, meaning it could be anything, women are more likely to say something as opposed to men? And
Yes.
and do you think that women are more likely to say something as opposed to men, even if it were to another man and that person was a stranger?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. And Craig Kyle was laughing. Hell yes. Let's see. Rita says, I think women are more comfortable saying something. Okay. Dee says, the crucible again. Interesting. What do you think makes the situation different? Okay, crucible. And I'm assuming you're referring to the wet seat. So, crucible, you want to answer, D?
Yeah, if I'm standing right next to somebody, there's nothing personal or embarrassing about a seat being wet. If I happen to be standing, a foot away from a person who's about to sit in a wet seat, it takes nothing for me to say, "Hey, wait a minute, you better not sit there. It's wet." And the woman goes, "Okay, thank you," and that's the end of it. There's no note leaving. There's no pulling over to tell them the brake light is out. Everything. So it's a situational thing. It's an easy thing to do. I'm standing right there. Why not?
Okay, so then let me ask you about the note leaving thing. So, with you not wanting to leave a note or not willing to leave a note, is it because you feel put out? Like, it's going to take me more time. I got to go back to my car, get some pencil and paper. I mean, is that part of the reason because it's taking up more of your time?
That might be part of it, but there's
Okay,
probably a more negative thing of it. I just don't. I consider myself to be a good person, but I don't think that way. So if I contradicted myself, then I apologize for that. But maybe people are thinking, well, you can't be a good person if you're not willing to do all the things that we've been talking about today. But the honest, blunt answer is my mind doesn't work that way. I think
okay,
I'm a generally an empathetic person, but maybe not empathetic enough to actually take action.
okay, all right. Kyle, welcome. You want to say something before we close out the show?
Yeah, Crucible on you saying that you were kind of taking a back step and you said you were sorry. No, that's like a, how should I say? It's a double-edged sword because it goes, well, the challenge is there. Do I want to be kind, or it sounds mean but it's really not? It's called the challenge. It's called the opinional challenge. It's something that what's his name talks about. He's that one famous. He's on YouTube. His name's something Peterson. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Jordan Peterson.
Was it Jordan Peterson? Yeah. No, he talks about that. He says, well, because a lot of other people, when it comes to that situation, they're afraid of what might come out. That's why.
Okay, all right. I mean, again,
And
I asked the question. You guys gave me an answer, and okay,
Crucible nailed it though. He nailed it. He 100% nailed it right on the top.
okay. And DMAX says to Crucible, thanks. Well said. All right, so that's my show. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna start with Crucible. Do you have any last words that you want to leave everyone?
No, I think I've indicted myself enough for one podcast. There'll be plenty of time on others. But like I said, I want to repeat myself. But it is a situational thing. It depends on how you feel at the time, how you're reading that other person, who else is around. I hate to make it so subjective, but I'm just being honest. There are just certain situations where it feels natural to get involved, and others where you just have some trepidation, and you think you're crossing some lines. So it's a very much case by case basis for me. But interesting topic.
Okay, well, thank you for popping up. Shelby, do you have any words of wisdom you want to leave everyone?
Yes, I want to tell Crucible, man, I still like you. Um, you make
Just don't
some
get
good
any flat. Just don't
points.
get any flat tires around me.
You've made some good points. You've opened my eyes to some things. I live in a very small town that everybody would help anybody. Um, so I used to live in a big town, but it was before it turned corrupt. So I've had the greatest of both sides. But yeah, I just wanted Crucible to know there's no hard feelings.
Okay,
I
good.
appreciate that, Shelby. Thank you. Very generous of you. Thank you.
Well, everyone again, as I always say, Thursday is my Friday, so I won't be back on my turn to talk until Monday, but I appreciate you guys coming. Poop, thank you for popping in, prepping money. It's been a minute for both of you guys. Thank you so much. So everyone, all I can say is what I always say: go where the wind takes you, and have a good weekend, and enjoy your day or evening wherever you are in the world. So until next week, bye. So Crucible, Shelby, thank you for popping up. Power Girl, Frankie, D-Mac, thank you. Ninja, Minnesota, Mama Bear Tracy, Lover Boy, D-Mac, all of you guys, thank you so much. And Shy Lady was here. And I know I'm always forgetting someone. Let's see. Kyle, thank you, Kyle, for popping up. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Anybody else I'm forgetting? And I don't mean to forget anyone. So, because I do appreciate everyone. And anyone over on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, thank you so much. And Minnesota, thank you very much for the gift. I do appreciate that. All right, everyone.